Hi everyone, welcome to Property Talk with Chinneck Shaw, where we talk about all things property. Today we are answering a few frequently asked questions from tenants and landlords. So Shelley, during a tenancy, who is responsible for the repairs and maintenance?
Okay, so primarily the landlord. Their responsibility is to look after the property and keep it safe and in good repair.
Okay, so if there was a leak in my roof, who would be responsible for that?
The landlord. So they are responsible for the structure, the walls, the roof, windows, doors, heating, hot water, pretty much the main fabric of the house.
Okay, what about appliances in the house? For example, if the house came with a washing machine already in there and that broke.
Yep, so if the house comes with appliances, then the landlord needs to keep them in good working order and make sure they're safe. If it doesn't come with appliances and you fit your own, they would be your responsibility.
Okay, so then as a tenant, what am I responsible for in the property?
Just upkeeping it day to day, really. So keeping it clean, carpets clean, changing light bulbs and things like that.
What about if there's a garden at the property as well? Who's responsible for cutting the lawn or making sure that doesn't get overgrown?
Most of the time that would be the tenant, unless there's a special agreement that the landlord helps with it. But with a normal house, it would be the tenant who would look after the garden.
Something else that tenants frequently ask is, can my landlord increase my rent and when?
Okay, yes they can, but there are rules. If you're in a fixed term, the landlord can't increase the rent unless there's a special clause in the agreement to say they can. If there isn't, then normally it's increased or reviewed anyway at the end of the fixed term.
Okay, so if my fixed term is 6 months, my landlord could then increase my rent after that?
They could do, yeah. Or after 6 months, if you don't renew, you'll go into a periodic, and then generally the landlord can review the rent once every 12 months.
Okay.
But they have to give you a certain amount of notice, normally over a month, at least over a month. So the increase has to be fair and it has to be in line with the local market. If you don't agree with the increase, my best advice is just communication. So speak to the agent, speak to the landlord, tell them your concerns, ask them where they've got their comparables from to get to that figure. And yeah, see if you can agree a happy medium or,
What happens if I don't believe it's a fair increase and I try to speak to my landlord and agency, but they're not budging? Is there anyone else that I can go to?
Yes, there's a tribunal you can go to and they can assess whether they think the increase is fair.
Right, and so for my final question, it is about landlords and what are my legal responsibilities as a landlord?
Okay, there's quite a few. So talking about the property itself, it needs to be compliant and safe and obviously in good repair like we spoke about before.
Yeah.
So compliance needs an annual gas safety check if there's gas, so that means the gas appliances are checked every year. An electrical certificate, and that has to be in date. They last for different periods of time. An EPC, which is an energy performance certificate, which rates the energy efficiency of the property, and that has to be an E or above.
Right.
And working smoke alarms, maybe a CO alarm if it's necessary, things like that.
So if I had an estate agent managing my property for me, would I have to be making sure all of these documents are kept up to date and everything?
No, that would be their job. You are still as it's your property, you are still the responsible person, but your agent you're paying them to look after all that for you.
Oh, cool, perfect. Thank you very much for answering those questions, Shelley. I think that's everything for today. And I hope you guys liked it as well and it was beneficial to you. If you do have any other questions yourself, just leave them in the comments and we will try our best to answer them for you. Thanks. Bye.